This is Tap the Craft Podcast, where we drink it, break it down, and make craft beer make sense. Whether you're a seasoned beer nerd or just trying to figure out why one IPA tastes like orange juice and another tastes like a pine tree punched you in the face, we've got you covered. Welcome to Season 12, Episode 20. I'm Denny.
And I'm Kris, and today we're diving into something that's quietly reshaping the entire craft beer landscape. For the last decade, it's been all about hazy IPAs, big, juicy, soft, and let's be honest, kind of everywhere.
But lately, things are shifting. Drinkers are starting to look for balance again. Cleaner finishes, more drinkability, but here's the twist. Brewers aren't dialing back the flavor. They're just getting way more precise about how they build it.
We're talking about the post-Haze era and the hop revolution happening behind the scenes. New hop products, new techniques, and a whole lot of science. So the question is, are we moving on from haze or are we just getting better at beer?
Yeah, so there's our intro for this episode. Kris, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Denny. How is your day?
It's great. It's been nice and rainy. We're finally getting some winter wetness here in
Some winter
Idaho.
wetness.
Yeah, we had 2 days of rain, and now the sun's finally popped out after a couple days of of darkness and clouds and rain. It feels good,
Well, if you,
but I'm doing well. I'm drinking a beer.
well, it
Uh,
sounds like your beer that you have is quite appropriate for all the darkness going on
it
around your
is,
neighborhood.
and
What's in the
why
glass?
not? Yeah, why not crush this bright sun coming out with a Fremont Dark Star Imperial Oatmeal Stout? This is my last can of this. I thought, oh, you know what? We don't have any special beer to drink. I'm going to drink this oatmeal stout, and it'll warm me up from that cold chill, and bring a little darkness to this sunny evening that all of a sudden showed up, which is good and bad. But what about you, Kris? How you doing, and what is in your glass?
So doing great. Went to the beach today. Found some more shark's teeth. Got my first sunburn of the season today. So um, I don't either know that it'll be irritating tomorrow or I'm just going to be a golden god tomorrow. Because I know that always pisses off Tina, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're so sunburned." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be tan tomorrow. That's fine." Um, but in my glass this evening, I'm doing some Andechs Doppelbock Dunkel. A
Dunkel, nice.
little bit of
How's it
beer.
look in your glass? Oh wait,
Well,
you have the mug,
well,
don't
I
you? I
have
can't
the
see it.
mug, so
Yeah,
it looks great. I mean, you see that Oktoberfest logo from Burt's Beer on
nice. Birch
or Burt's
Brewing, way
Brewing,
to
but
go.
in the glass, I mean, it
Oh
looks like
yeah,
a cup of
nice and dark.
coffee.
Yeah, looks good.
Funny enough, I could use this for a coffee mug too.
You
Mm.
you could use it for a coffee mug.
Is
It's
that
ceramic. It'll
sacrilege?
hold. No,
Is that okay?
no,
Okay.
no, not at all. Okay, well, before we get started, we'd like to let anyone new listening to the show know what Tap to Craft Podcast is all about. We are an educational podcast focused around celebrating all things craft beer because we want to assist you, our listener, along in your craft beer journey and adventures. And you are listening to episode 306, recording on Monday, April 13th, 2026. And we are recording live on Facebook. And if you'd like to join us on the Monday prior to release at 8:30 Eastern Time, we would love to have you join us for the recording. And Kris and I would like to thank all of our Patreon supporters because this episode is brought to you in part by our satisfied Patreon supporters like Bill Slimmer, Amanda and Kevin Argauer, Mike Blanchard, Tara Carlson, Jim Kutzel, Alex Fuchs, Eric Scotty Ward. These are all of our virtual producers. And we have Tom Byrne, Jeff Seiler, Johan Halberg, Chad Massa, Mark Church, Eric Grownley, and Batman Dan, who want to buy us a virtual beer. And you can be like Peter Tim, who wants to toast his host. If you enjoy the content we provide, we invite you to support the show by toasting your host or buying us a virtual beer or even becoming a virtual producer. You can explore the options on our support page by visiting patreon.com/tapthecraft. Whew,
What a
that's a
pro.
mouthful.
What a
Yeah.
pro.
So if anyone was paying attention, just to get us out in the open right now,
Hmm.
we were supposed to have a guest on, and the guest didn't show up. But don't worry, we were able to put together a show because we come prepared. So in case you were waiting to hear our guest, no one else is on,
If
just
you're
Kris and
waiting to
I.
hear Vulture's Peak Brewing out of Wickensburg, Arizona, they're not here. but Denny and
Yeah,
I are.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
reliable.
I actually put in. I had some. Yeah, we're reliable, and we actually I created quite a. I mean, I was kind of excited to talk about this brewery and
Yeah.
find out about it because it's unique. And I had a great cold open that Kris and I were doing, and we had good questions that were unique to his situation. But it's okay. Maybe he'll come back and join us another time, and I'll have those already prepared. So I already have a show ready to roll. But let's get into some conversation. Let's go into the Beer Speak 101. This is where we briefly define common and not so common beer terminology. And in this episode, oh, excuse me, talk about this. In this episode, we're going to talk about the term gusher, not just what almost came up out of my gut right now with these Dark Star, but what is a gusher? So, all right, today's beer term is one that can either be exciting or an absolute nightmare. We're talking about a gusher. This is one of those moments where you crack open a beer and instead of a nice gentle pour, it just erupts out of the bottle like a can of shaken soda. So what is a gusher? Well, a gusher is a beer that foams uncontrollably upon opening, often overflowing rapidly from the container without being poured. This isn't just high carbonation, it's unstable carbonation behavior where CO2 rapidly escapes all at once instead of staying dissolved in
Yeah.
the beer.
Yeah, well, you gotta maybe want to know what causes it. So, what's actually going on inside the beer to make it freak out like that? It usually comes down to nucleation sites, tiny particles or irregularities that give CO2 bubbles a place to form rapidly. So, here's some main culprits. You get an infection, a big one. Not something that you can just go get some penicillin for, but like wild yeast like Brettanomyces or bacteria can continue fermenting sugars after packaging. This creates extra CO2, leading to overcarbonation. This often comes with off flavors like funk, sour, phenolic, but not always immediately noticeable. Number two, over priming. So having too much sugar added during bottling. Yeast produces excess CO2 in the sealed container. Common in home brewing, happened at my house,
Mm-hmm.
common in home brewing, but can happen commercially if quality control slips. Number three, particulates in beer, proteins, hop matter, or even microscopic debris, especially common in heavily dry hopped beers like hazy IPAs. Those act as nucleation points, triggering rapid bubble formation. Number four, there's so many things to just cause all this beer to just
Yeah.
temperature and handling. So warm storage. CO2 becomes less soluble. So shaking or agitation forces CO2 out of solution. Ever had a gusher after a beer rolled around in your car? Who's traveling?
Mm.
You guys put your seatbelt on your beer too. Like it's travel safe, okay? Yep. And then number five, oh, this sounds fun. Fungal contamination in barley, a lesser
Yeah. Wow.
known but real issue. Fungi like Fusarium can produce proteins that trigger gushing. This is more of an agricultural or raw ingredient problem.
Yeah. So I think the one that probably most of us have experienced is home brewing. You know,
Ooh.
when you're bottling your home brew, you're priming, you got your little priming sugar going to help build that carbonation up. If it gets a little bit too much, you pop that lid and it foams. But I have had a few gushers from commercial, professional brewers. One here, I have a video I think on our YouTube page. You got to go way back on it where I had a gusher. I like, opened up a local beer in a bottle. I think it was. I want to say I don't remember if it was a. I don't think it was a sour beer. It was something, but I opened it, and as soon as I opened it, it just started foaming up,
Oh, wow.
and then it just kept gushing and gushing and gushing, and basically, by the time I was done, half the bottle had emptied out onto my counter.
I'm
It
sure it was
was
flat too by the time that was done.
and I was like, I just kept, and I started recording it like halfway through the incident. I'm like, this is never going to stop. I mean, this is crazy, and
This
just
is
kept
life now.
going on and on. But yeah, in that case, it was unfermented. material with the or yeast that was still active with unfermented material, and it kept growing in the thing. And once I popped that lid, it just came out, and it would have probably exploded in my fridge if I wouldn't have popped it when I did.
Could you imagine just cleaning all that up out of your fridge?
Yeah, and the brewer did remove remove the product from stores after
Oh
I
wow.
sent my video. They realized they must have had something that they didn't pasteurize enough or whatever and cause an issue. All right, so let's talk about this. Talk about science. Let's talk about the science behind this gushing. So it's not just too fizzy, right? It's about how the CO2 behaves in the solution. Normally, CO2 stays dissolved under pressure. When opened, it slowly escapes in a controlled way. But with nucleation sites or excess CO2, it rapidly forms bubbles all at once. Think of it like Mentos in soda, but less intentional. So, Kris, is a gusher always bad?
Depends on depends on your preference of beers. Yeah, so if I get a gusher, should I just dump it? No, not necessarily, but it could be a bit of a red flag. If it tastes fine, it might just be a particulate related. It might just be particulate part.
Mm-hmm.
Man, hang on.
Particularly related.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Take a sip.
Beer
I
makes
want to
it
dump the
better.
other part of the beer in there too. Just
Oh, it's this. This
fill
was
up.
the whole thing. It fit. Thanks, Burt's Brewing. Um, if it tastes fine, it might just be particulate related, so it's common in hazies. If it tastes off, it might be an infection, probably not worth drinking. And if it
Mm-mm.
happens repeatedly with the same beer or batch, that's a quality issue. So some Belgian styles can be highly carbonated, but even those shouldn't gush uncontrollably. Ah, speaking of gushing, this is
I know.
it's
I had the same
bubbly over here.
problem. I started to almost gush from my.
So from a brewer perspective, breweries work hard to avoid gushers, though. I'm sorry, through avoid gushers through strict sanitation protocols, careful carbonation control, filtration and centrifugation, depending on the style, and then stability testing before release. But with today's hop-heavy, unfiltered beers, especially hazies, the risk is a little higher.
All right, so let's wrap this thing up. So a gusher might look cool for half a second, but it usually means something went sideways, whether it's an infection, process issues, or just a super hop-loaded beer pushing the limits. The moral of the story, open carefully and maybe not over your laptop or keyboard in my
Or
case.
your keyboard. Yeah, that's also another video that's on our YouTube channel. And by the way, if you guys aren't following our YouTube channel, you should. We put up to videos daily on that thing. Um,
Yeah,
two of them actually,
youtube.com/at tap the craft. The
which
at
is
sign.
funny that they use the at symbol there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, that is our Beer Speak 101. And this topic was brought to you by Eric Scotty Ward. Thank you, Eric, for providing us lots
Cheers,
of
buddy.
good beer terms to go over. I hope you enjoyed this one. And you know what? We're not done giving you information because we're going to roll right in to the Brew Buzz. And the Brew Buzz is devoted to discussing various beer-related topics. This episode, we're going to learn uh, a
About the
story
haze craze.
that I'm calling Beyond the Juice, the Post-Haze Era and the Hop Revolution. And I know we've been talking, again, I put this together fairly quickly last night when I realized, we haven't heard from our guest whether or not he's going to show up or not. So I better prepare something just in case. Well, good thing I did because this is what I found. But we've talked about some of these topics over the last year, and now I think it's a good time to bring them kind of all together and and talk about it. And we all know that hazy IPAs and pale ales have been a big boom for many years. But is that boom kind of settling down? So let's talk about that. That's what this whole Brew Buzz is devoted to. So I'll start it off. What was the haze craze? Was past tense. Okay. Hazy IPA, New England IPA explosion in the mid 2010s. It was a juice-forward, low bitterness, and soft mouthfeel IPA, driven by heavy dry hopping, some yeast expression, and of course the water chemistry, chloride heavy water. It wasn't just a style, it changed consumers' expectations. People started chasing aroma over bitterness. Smooth became more desirable than crisp. Brewers leaned hard into the double dry hop, and of course, adding adjuncts like fruit and lactose to the beer. Haze didn't just become popular; it actually redefined what IPA means in some cases.
In some cases, right? So let's dig into that post-Haze era. So there's been a signs of shifting. So we've got the resurgence of West Coast IPA. More
Mm-hmm.
breweries are kind of leaning on that West Coast style IPA, and
Yeah,
we've been seeing some more cold IPAs show up as
yeah.
well.
I love the cold IPA. I'm
Yeah,
so
I do
glad
too.
this one actually was good and is sticking around. You know, for a couple years now.
Right. Most definitely. But there's also, if you look at tap lists in breweries or beer bars, they are definitely putting more lagers on taps.
Hmm.
It's, I think myself included are looking for them because palate fatigue is real.
Hmm.
Not everybody wants an 8% juice bomb every time, except David
Exactly.
Doble. Except David Doble with Tampa Bay Brewing Company. That boy loves his hops, and I just tagged him in
Okay.
our
Nice.
Facebook.
Nice.
Funny enough, I'm editing our interview with him from like episode 223 or
Wow,
something like that.
that's a long time ago. That's like
Um,
4 years ago.
it's up on our YouTube channel, but now I'm making it into the small clips.
Okay.
So it's always funny you and I have these conversations, and I'm like, oh, do you remember when we talked to David Doble and we were talking
Hmm.
about, and you're like, that was 3 years ago. How
Yeah, that was
how
a
the hell would I
long time
remember that?
ago. Yeah.
But yeah, he outright says in that interview, I love hops, and it kind of stuck into my head. So not everybody wants an 8% juice bomb every single time they crack a beer. Drinkability is coming back into focus.
That's right.
Because, right,
That's
Denny,
right.
like you want to take a sip and it makes you want to have another
Yeah,
sip, right?
exactly.
Maybe that's why maybe if we do more of that, more breweries will stick around.
True. True.
Mm. Makes you want to take another drink, have
So,
more
so is
beers.
there a key takeaway to this?
Well, the takeaway, Denny, is that the haze craze didn't die. It kind of matured.
There we go. There
Mm.
we go. It's maturing. I have to say, I have to agree. Drinkability, and you and I in the last few years have definitely focused on the
This is
drinkability.
us. What we
Yeah,
just read is you and I
yeah, yeah.
and a lot of people.
I do enjoy the hazy IPA, the softness and stuff, but I found that I don't want to drink more than one before I have something that either can counter that softness with a little bit crispiness, whether
Yeah.
it's a pilsner or whether it's a West Coast IPA. I need to have that balance back and forth. So it's almost like a teeter-tottering. I go and I drink a hazy, and I drink something that's got a little bit bitterness in there, a little crispiness to counter it. I don't want to be drinking the same thing, and so yeah, drinkability is key. And I have really found so many beers, especially this year, that I take a sip and it's so well balanced and has that dry finish. I mean, I'll say balanced as far as it's not one too much one way or another. It just finishes dry that I just want to take another sip. And that's
Hmm.
what I've appreciated so much is just take a sip and I just want to take one more.
Well,
Those are good beers.
and also too, when one of the things we talked about when we spoke to Drew and Jasmine over at Liquid
Oh
Intrusion,
yeah.
one of
Yeah.
the things that you said about their African Queen and her Seven Seas beer is that a lot of hazies guys, a lot of them just taste kind of the same. Like
Hmm. I
they
agree. Yeah.
have a group of flavors that they lean into and they kind of taste the same. And that was one of our takeaways from that interview specifically. That was like, wow, this one's so much different than all the
Hmm.
other ones that we've had the opportunity to try. But that's
Yeah.
one in what 100,000
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, this one's different. I could get into this. But that drinkability, it's you want to be able to drink it and drink
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
and drink another.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
so
Exactly. All right. So now let's go into the hop products revolution. Yeah, hop products, not just hops, but there's products involved. Let's talk about what's really changing. Hop technology. We're no longer just taking, or we're no longer just talking about whole cone or pellet type hops. There's different types of modern hop products like cryo hops, which are just concentrated lupulin, hop extracts, some CO2 extracts, distilled hop oils. And then we've been recently been drinking a lot of IPAs that are utilizing the terpene blends
Yeah.
that give you really that great aroma and pop of flavor. These allow brewers to boost aroma without excessive vegetal matter, key right there, increase yield, that means less beer loss to hop absorption, and also fine tune flavor profiles. So you can actually, the brewers can actually fine tune and get exactly what they want out of those beers. And I feel that with these hop products, and and not just using one of them, sometimes it may take combining a few of these products to have brewers really be able to just fine tune and hone in a fantastic flavor profile that will go different from the beginning, first sip to the mid to the finish, and have a whole experience of hop flavors in your mouth
Hmm.
throughout the whole beer. So, and why does this matter, Kris?
Well, let's talk about flavor precision. Oh, that's a term. So brewers can target specific compounds, like if they want to target citrus or tropical fruits or dankness. They can also go after better efficiency, so less hops needed overall,
Yeah,
and it's better for margins in a tight market. So we can save a little money when everything is so freaking expensive anymore. Consistency. Whole hops can vary from crop to crop, right? So like
hmm
you could get a batch of, I don't know, Columbus hops this year and it not be the same as what you got last year or the year before, and then maybe you need
hmm
more, maybe you need less, and your recipe calls for X amount of pounds, and man, it turns the beer different. So you can
yeah,
keep things a little more consistent. So and then extracts can standardize that flavor. So again, it's
yeah,
that consistency because if there is an inconsistency in the hop from one year from the next, it can be different. It can be
yeah.
different. So Denny, do you think this is more innovation, or is this like you think there's going to be those purity people out there that fight this?
Of course. Of course. I mean, it is innovation, but there are those purists out there that just don't want to change
Yeah, they're
because this is the
called
way we've always
Germans.
done it. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I have mixed feelings with this because I also would have claimed originally that I'd be in the purist side, but I'm finding as I'm getting older, with all this dry hopping that people are doing with with the hops, um, I'm becoming more sensitive to allergies.
Mm,
I'll drink a double dry hopped hazy or even a West Coast, and when I get done drinking it, I'm stuffed up. Right, it affected my whole head. But I'm finding that when I do read that the brewer, instead of doing the dry hopping, they're doing some of these extracts. I don't have as much of a reaction to it. So maybe I'm teetering
hmm.
on the innovation versus purity.
I'm curious of how that would work, especially if they're boiling the beer. Do the allergens still stand in the beer?
So I mean they're boiling the beer, but they're dry, but they're basically they're throwing the hops into the
Yeah,
into the fermentation fermenter there to right
it's a
however
good
they're
point.
doing it at
Good
one
point.
point where
There's
it
definitely
does
options to
leave
do
some of
that.
that. Yeah, it does leave some of that pollen and stuff in the beer. I'm assuming. I don't know. That's a good question. We need to ask some of
Um,
these IPA.
you know who would be a great person to ask? And I feel like I'm plugging them a lot today. The head brewer over at Tampa Bay Brewing
Tampa
Company,
Bay.
Anthony. Anthony.
I know we were supposed
Uh,
to have Anthony on the show. Reach out to Dave and tell him we want Anthony to come on and talk about hops.
yeah,
Okay.
we could do that.
All right. So let's talk about this debate versus innovation versus purity. Some purists argue that quote it's not traditional brewing or it's too engineered. But let's be real. Brewing has always evolved. pellet hops were once controversial too. So if it tastes great, does the process matter? Really matter?
Yes. I think you know what? I think when pellet hops were controversial, that was before my craft beer time. I was just a wee lad. That
That's
all I know is
true.
pellet hops.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize. I mean, I had toured the Chutes, and because the Chutes was the first brewery I toured that and I don't know how it's changed now, but they only used whole cone hops. They didn't use any
Mm.
pellets at all. I'm sure now they've grown big enough where they have to use some pellets.
They'd
I can't
have
imagine.
to.
Yeah.
Like that, the not only the space that all those
Yeah.
hops would take up,
Yeah.
and they would
Yeah.
have to
It's
use them so fast.
yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, I did last time I toured their brewery and they still had their whole cone storage. That was 20 years ago. So I should redo the tour and see if they've changed and gone to the to pellets.
Or do that same video again. Jeez, I'm doing it again. I'm plugging Tampa Bay Brewing Company and I'm plugging our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Tough. The
Yeah.
video that you did where you toured the hop fields.
Oh yeah. 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 That's so. We need a
Ow.
way of promoting some videos, some of the older ones that have been around for a long time. But that's a great video of me and my buddy Alex
Hmm.
doing the Hopfield tour during harvest.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Uh,
right, Kris, can you connect some of these dots?
Yeah, so here's where it all ties together. So the post-haze area is really more a demand for balance and drinkability, in our
Yeah.
eyes, at least. You
Hmm.
can call it
Yeah.
whatever you want. And then hop tech is going to be more of those tools to deliver that balance and drinkability.
Yeah.
So now with this hop tech that we have, you can make a crisp West Coast IPA with huge aroma.
Mm.
Or you can even make a lighter beer that still pops with flavor. So, as far as an insight goes for this, the future isn't less hop flavor, it's smarter hop usage. Denny, we're working smarter, not harder here.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Exactly.
So, what does this mean for beer drinkers then?
Well, you can expect more variety, again, less one style dominance. You can also expect some cleaner beers with some bold aroma and lower ABV, but still flavorful options. And maybe fewer murky for the sake of murky beers. All right. So that is kind of leading us in. Is the haze craze over? Have we come to a new thing? Have we, whatever's going on? Maybe it's over. Maybe it's just settling in and found its spot, and now we're going to be bouncing, like a teeter totter back and forth and enjoying our hazies and our West Coast crispy beers. But let's dive a little bit more into the science behind the hop revolution. So we've talked about how the haze craze kind of reshaped expectations and how things are shifting. But you really want to understand why beer is changing right now, you've got to look at the science because this isn't just brewers changing recipe, it's brewers getting way more control over what's actually happening at a molecular level in your glass.
Mm.
So, Kris, what's actually in a hop?
Well, breaking it down simply, when we say hops, we're not just talking about bitterness anymore. Hops are basically little chemical factories. Inside them, you've got a few key players. So the core compounds you're going to find in them are going to be alpha acids. That's going to be for the bitterness. It's the isomerized. Theirs are isomerized during the boil. You're going to find some essential oils, so things that give you your aroma, like your citrus, your pine, floral, tropical. Then there's polyphenols. That's part of the mouthfeel and the haze contribution. And then my favorite word when we
Mm-hmm.
talk about hops,
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it the way I want to, Batgirl Jesse. I don't care. Um, Thiol precursors. These are huge for modern juicy flavors.
Yeah.
And historically, brewers didn't have a ton of control over isolating those. So you threw hops in and you got what you got. But now These pellets are starting to go from pellets to precision, Denny. Like there's a lot that's going into this now.
Yeah, yeah. For a long time, it was basically two options. Like I said earlier, whole cone or pellets. And pellets were already a big leap because they were more stable, they were easier to store, as Kris mentioned with the shoots, more consistent. But now we're in a whole different world. Here are some modern hop innovations. Let's talk about the cryo hops. Lupulin glands separated from plant material, higher oil concentration, less vegetal matter, cleaner flavor, and less astringency. So you're getting more punch without all that leafy material soaking up your beer. Then you have these CO2 extracts, which are concentrated resin pulled by using pressurized CO2, primarily used for bitterness or base hop character. They're super efficient and consistent, and brewers can dial in the bitterness to their exact needs. Distilled hop oils, or what they call fractions, individual hop or individual aroma compounds isolated can target specific flavors like how do you say that? Limonene,
I would go limonene,
limonene, which is
myrcene, and
citrus. Yeah,
geranol.
yeah, geritol,
Not
Ger-
geritol, geraniol. Yeah,
geraniol.
there we
Yeah,
go.
which would be floral fruity. So we have resinous pine with the myrcene and geronimo
Geronimo, Geronimo
with the
geritol.
floral and fruit. Yeah, geritol. This is where it starts to feel like flavor engineering. And then you have advanced blends and terpene additions. These are custom designed hop profiles, sometimes blended post fermentation. Basically, it's like building a flavor from the ground up instead of hoping your hop bill gets you there. So, Kris, you mentioned your favorite thing is the thiols. What is this super secret weapon of modern IPAs?
I love that we call it a super secret weapon too. So this is the one that people hear about but don't always understand. Thiols, and this is huge for that whole hazy tropical explosion. But these are sulfur-containing compounds. That sounds great, right? Like you just want sulfur
Yeah.
in your beer. But it's an extremely potent aroma molecule. So tiny amounts of these thiols can make a huge impact in your beer. And as far as flavor contributions go, you can find passion fruit, guava, grapefruit, and Denny, one of your favorites, black
Oh,
currant.
I love blackcurrant. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the wild part. Most of these aren't just sitting there in the hops ready to go. They're bound up as precursors. You need the right yeast to
Hmm.
unlock them.
That's right.
So again, going through these videos as I have been, I'm literally editing videos right now that talks about getting new yeasts, biotransformation, all that fun stuff. So
Nice.
when yeast interacts with hop compounds during fermentation, it can actually transform them into new aroma compounds. So timing matters. Dry hopping during fermentation versus after can completely change the result. And they're putting out some designer yeast strains. Like I work with designer dog breeds, like golden doodles and stuff. These are engineered or selected for high thiol release. They can amplify tropical notes without increasing the hop load, so you can get bigger flavors with the same amount of hops that you were using before. This is why some beers taste insanely juicy, even if they're not loaded with hops like older hazies were. Doesn't that affect the efficiency though, Denny?
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the less sexy but super important side, the efficiency.
Well, we're all about
Cost and
sexy on the show, you know that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cost and yield. That always gets you in the mood.
Yeah.
Traditional dry hopping, massive hop loads, and beer loss due to absorption. The advanced products, less material needed, and you have a higher yield per batch. So there you go. These things help. In a tight market, that matters a lot. How about some flavor stability? You have oxygen plus hops equals flavor degradation.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So
And
less
extracts
oxidation.
and oils can be more stable. So yeah, when you add in that organic material, you're adding in oxidation factor to it. So You gotta take care of that. So not only are you getting better control, you're getting longer lasting product on the shelf. So Kris, how is this all shaping the post haze era?
Well, I wanted to say too, where we talk about getting a longer lasting product on the shelf.
Oh,
I
okay.
know, I fixed it. Getting a longer lasting product on the shelf. It's not like the brewers are going to start throwing preservatives in your beer, right? So like
Yeah.
for those of you that aren't weird beer people like we are, I mean, you grab a beer off the shelf and it's been sitting there for a year and you don't know it, it's gonna have flavors in it because the hops in there will oxidize and it's gonna taste like wet cardboard and
Oh.
stuff you don't want to drink. And then the brewery gets a bad name because,
Hmm.
well, you drank a product that just happened to be sitting on the shelf for too long and
Yeah.
now you think the beer sucks and it doesn't. It's just not as fresh as it could be. So that means those flavors won't degrade. I'm excited about this now just because, man, my local beer stores, you can find a 2-year-old IPA on the shelf, and it's like, yeah, you don't want that. Um, so this is going to shape the post-Haze era, Denny, and let's
Hmm.
look at this bigger picture. The post-Haze drinking trends. All right, so people are leaning back towards balance,
Hmm.
drinkability, clarity, but they don't want to lose the big aroma. So here's the
Yeah.
big connection. Old hazy approach. You got the massive hop loads. That's funny. Heavy body and murky appearance. But here's the new approach. Precision hop products, targeted aroma compounds, and cleaner, more drinkable beers. So instead of brute force, it's kind of surgical, which I like.
Yeah.
All right. Philosophical question, Denny.
Yeah. Let's get a little philosophical here. All right. There's the
Be
question.
or
Yeah.
not to be. Oh, I'm sorry. You got it.
Yeah. So here's the question that always comes up. Is this still traditional brewing, or are we getting into something closer to food science or flavor design? And here's the bottom line. If it tastes incredible, does it matter how we got there?
Denny, it's Schrodinger's beer.
Yeah. So,
Are
all
there
right. So
whole hops or are there just hop products in there?
that's right. That's right. Well, if it
Schrodinger's
tastes
beer.
great, who cares? Who really cares? So, Kris, why don't you just wrap this whole topic up for us?
So the future of beer might not just be about styles. It's about control, precision, and understanding the science behind what's in your glass. And whether you're drinking a hazy, a West Coast, or something totally new, there's a good chance the real magic is happening at the molecular level.
Yeah, science, baby.
Yeah. Listen, Batgirl Jesse missed out on this one.
I don't know where they've been. I
I, I
miss
was I
them.
was talking to Dan the other day. She did changes in jobs for her and just
Oh, okay.
life's
Okay.
happening.
That's okay.
But you know,
Hopefully she's listening to the audio portion and she can chime in on this. But this is all science for her. We did this for her.
and just because I know it annoys her, I'll make sure I spell her name Jesse and not
Oh, like the
Jessie.
IE. Yeah. You don't want the male version. That's not good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well there is our brew buzz segment. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I know that we kind of covered stuff we've already covered before on the show, but we brought it all together in understanding that maybe the haze craze is bouncing out, and we're able to control, make some, and maybe that the West Coast clear beer is coming back because some of these hop products are able to bring what people love about the hazy, but also give you that, that balance, that maybe the bitterness that you're looking for, but also aromas and flavors that you weren't getting when all you had is that pine
Pine
cone
and
beer that
resin.
you were drinking for so many years
Yeah.
that I loved and my wife loves too. But you know what? I love these newer ones too. So
Well, I think a lot of people who swear off IPAs is because that's what they know, right?
yeah,
Like I know Tina all the time. She doesn't call them IPAs. She calls them
IP.
IPAs, right? And
Yeah.
every time I get one, I'm like, here, try this. And she's like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. But there's the occasional time when she's like, oh, that's actually not bad. I could drink that.
Yeah.
But I also take into consideration too, Denny, you said, hey, we've covered some of these things in the past, but
Hmm.
we've covered hazy IPAs in the past, but this is things that are coming new into the beer world now,
True.
not
True.
like, oh my gosh, last year, but we're starting to see more and more of it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I'll probably put together a few more, another show with some of the newer hops that we're getting, because there's a lot of new hops, and maybe I'll dive more further into the yeast,
sorry,
because we
there was a
talked
bug.
about the precursors and thiols, and how it requires a yeast to activate it, right? So it'd be good to dive more into that. That gets really sciencey, so it
Yeah,
might get
so
over my head.
keep that thought and idea because that's what we could talk about with
With
Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
sounds good.
Dave literally said, "Oh yeah, that's a great thing to talk to him about."
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, some upcoming interviews. We're gonna on the next episode. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're gonna have Tom Everett of Von Trapp Brewing out of Stowe, Vermont, joining us on April 27th. We're having Craig Snyder back from Pontoon Brewing out of Sandy Springs, Georgia. He'll be joining us on May 11th,
Probably
and we have
Tyler
an
too.
and Tyler. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we gotta have Tyler on there, and then we have Ken Lambert from Hinder, sorry,
Hinder.
I said it.
I'm going with Hinder. Yeah,
Hinder Brewing Company out of Wapaka, Wisconsin. How do you say that? Wapaka?
I think you nailed it. Wapaka.
I think so. Matt Jung, let us know if I said it correct or incorrect, but it's out of Wisconsin. So are you familiar, Matt, with H Hinder? Let us know. He's going to be joining us on June 8th. Looking forward to chatting with him and learning about that brewery.
Yeah, and it's going to be not just Ken. It's going to be Ken and a couple of the other folks involved in the brewery as well. He's not sure if the owner is going to be coming on too, but we'll see what happens.
We might have it might be might be our largest
Listen,
show.
he did ask. He said, he's like, how many people can we have? And I'm like, well, we've had like three
Yeah,
and myself and my co-host. So, I mean, we can basically have up to 50, but we also want to make sure that, we can spread out the questions evenly and we're not
yeah,
running a
yeah,
4-hour show.
yeah. We'll definitely have to. We have when we have three on, it's tough. Four would be even tougher, and we would have to definitely just throw questions at one person, and so weren't there all the time. But yeah, we can do it. More the
Well,
merrier.
yeah, I
Um,
think I think when we have those questions, we should just go, okay, whoever answers it first, you
yeah,
get to take it.
yeah. And we didn't have any feedback from last episode. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed it. We do have a voicemail line. We love to hear your voice and play it on the air for all of our listeners. 208-536-2359. Too many numbers because you've been drinking double IPAs and double oatmeal stouts like myself. Maybe 20853 oddly would be easier to remember. Just pick up the phone, speed dial us, and leave us your question, praise, or just information you wanted to talk to us about. We'd love to get you on the air. And you can also write us an email like Eric Scotty Ward did to give us some suggestions for our Beer Speak 101 topic at tapthecraft@gmail.com. And we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/tapthecraft. And don't forget we have a YouTube channel as well at youtube.com/@tapthecraft. And we have a website at tapthecraft.com. Go check it out. Okay, Kris, did that give you enough time to prepare our Untap the Craft segment
Sure
and check
did.
out what our
Yeah.
listeners are drinking?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
And funny enough, we're going to start a mere 5 hours ago. So if
Mm.
you guys want us to read your check-ins, make sure you follow me on Untapped at K9 Hops. It's the letter K, the number 9, HOPS. And we usually read your check-ins approximately 24 hours before the show records. But we're going to start with Mr. Bill Schlemmer from 5 whole hours ago. I'm going to give him a toast. He's checking into, excuse me.
Oh, that was
Had
a
had a
nice
little bit of a
check-in.
gusher there. He's drinking a 71st Street by Venture Brew Company, and Venture Brew Company is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So he might, I guess, be
He's
on his
back
way
home.
home. Got out of Florida before it got stupid hot. Um, but he wrote mildly hopped with mild sweetness, herbal and fruity with a dank hint of tasty. Four cap rating for that one. Scrolling on up to the next one, Anthony Chio is drinking Our Day Will Come by Branch and Bone Artisan Ales. He said, enjoying the lightly bitter chocolate notes of the dry, light finish, low ABV, and higher than average level of carbonation, less creamy than Guinness. And he gave that a four cap rating. I've never heard of Branch and Bone Artisan Ales. They are
No, me either.
out of Dayton, Ohio. So if you
Oh,
guys are in the Dayton area, go check them out. Next on our list, Bill Schlemmer again, checking into a barrel-aged donut Don with cinnamon and cream, 2026. Also at the Venture Beer Brew Co. A dessert beer, he says. First sip is all cinnamon vanilla. As it warms up, not much changes, except the cinnamon is more pronounced. The sweetness is not cloying, but overall, this beer does not seem well balanced. 3.5 caps. Yeah, sometimes we got to read the good or the good with the bad, guys.
hmm.
Um, let's see. Next on our list is going to be Chad Lamassa. Got to continue that check-in streak. He is drinking a midnight special coffee stout by Double Groove Brewing. He said, I'm splitting this with Cindy. Dark roast coffee and some chocolate. Also, my episode of my weekly mixtape titled Your Next Favorite Band is out wherever you listen to podcasts. Did I say
Okay.
that right? My episode of my weekly mixtape titled Your Next Favorite Band is out wherever you listen to podcasts. Let me know if you give it a listen. So you heard the man. Get out there and go listen to his episode of my weekly mixtape. It's titled Your Next Favorite Band. So you can go listen to it.
Okay. I got it. Is it, you think this is his own podcast or is he just guested on
He
this
did
podcast?
say my episode.
Yeah, so he must have guested on.
Either way, go listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Go
think I
listen.
listened to his last one
Okay.
that he did. Talked about the music and stuff. So yeah, I'll have to
Nice.
listen to this one too.
All right, but he gave it 4.5 caps. That midnight special coffee stout by Double Groove Brewing, and then scrolling on up, Jordan West drinking a Lucky Puppy Lager by Frog Alley Brewing. Wow, this was a great dunkel. I got some crisp, effervescent right off the rip. Also got some brown bread, toasted bread, toffee,
Oh,
bitter pumpernickel bread, lightly roasted coffee,
whoa,
roasty,
whoa,
wood, subtle
whoa!
pine notes in the nose. Cheers. 5 cap rating
He
for
was able
the
to pull out all those different breads.
listen,
Pumpernickel, brown
pumpernickel
bread. Wait,
brown
isn't
bread.
pumpernickel brown bread is the same
It
thing?
is a brown bread, but it is not the same. The flour is
Okay,
a little different, if I remember correctly. Um, but toasted bread, brown bread,
toasted. Yeah, they're all brown bread
toffee,
flavors.
bitter, pumpernickel bread, light roasted coffee, roasty, wood. What kind of wood, though, Jordan? Subtle pine notes. This was all in the nose.
What was the style?
The style is a Dunkel.
Oh, a
Frog.
Dunkel. Wow, that's a powerful Dunkel with all that flavor.
I mean, I get brown bread and pumpernickel and yeah, there's definitely some wood in there and some cinnamon toast
Yeah,
crunch
wood.
and
I would agree with wood because wood
yeah,
is yeah, wood. I would say for sure you can get some wood. I just had a
yeah.
beer that also had wood flavor in it too.
I
I can't
had
remember
wood
what it
too. It was
was.
great. Frog Alley Brewing out of Schenectady, New York, is where that beer came from. That was the Lucky Puppy Lager. Next, going up our list. Oh, I gotta toast that one.
Hey,
There we
hey,
go.
Matt Griffel just said pumpernickel is rye with molasses. There we go.
See,
See, it is different. It's you know what it. I need to have some pumpernickel bread just so I can taste it. I've had it before, but now I'm intrigued to try it again. And
where did he say that?
he said it on our YouTube or
What
our
on our YouTube? Yeah, go check us
Facebook.
out on YouTube at Tap the Craft. Good job, Denny. Uh, no, it didn't show up. If he commented, I didn't see it. That's weird.
I,
Anyway,
I just saw it. Yeah.
it's not refreshing
Wait,
on my screen.
I'm on top of something. Usually you're on
I'm
top of it.
so proud of you two.
Wow.
I really am. Like it's a new day for Denny.
I get a gold
Uh,
star.
you do. I got two of them for you. Chew your beer, or as we know him as Robert, is drinking a 12 years double dry hopped West Coast Pilsner by Highland Park Brewery. He was not the first one in his community to check
Mm.
into it this time, but he said, fantastic pills, almost an IPA. I bet you they used some of those hop products in this Pilsner
Yeah.
to make it more like an IPA. But five cap rating for that beer. And then Jordan West again checking into a Holly Jolly Christmas by Fatheads Brewery. Denny, I did have a beer recently that would usually be a new and noteworthy beer,
Hmm.
but it was not
Oh,
this time.
that's
It was Christmas Ale
unfortunate.
from Great Lakes Brewery or from Great Lakes Brewing.
Oh, oh, was it because it was just too old?
I don't know, but it was not the
Wow.
same as I remember it. So I don't know if it was just maybe it was just
Well,
older.
you, yeah, or your
2 weeks
palate's just
ago. This was
changed.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, but maybe it was the year before's version.
No, it was brand new because we just got Great Lakes here in the Tampa
Oh,
in the Tampa area
oh, okay,
this year
okay.
or the end of
I,
last
I
year.
didn't know if it maybe was from your private stash from Joel
No,
he
no,
had for 4 years.
no, it wasn't. But yeah, I was a little disappointed. So we'll see when it comes back for the holiday season this year. I'll go grab. I'm still gonna go grab some just for the I guess nostalgia of it.
Hmm.
Hopefully, it was just because it was on tap at a place that cycles a lot of beer.
Yeah.
Um, So, Holly Jolly Christmas by Fatheads, another Cleveland brewery. And he said, because he gave us a five cap rating, and we are getting an ingredients list off of this one. Wow, Fatheads, this was a great winter warmer right here. I got some crisp, earthy effervescence right off the jump. Also, he got brown bread in this one, toasted bread in this one, cinnamon, cloves, toffee, nutmeg, brown sugar, caramel, figs, honey, raisins, and grainy notes. That's a lot of flavors to pull out of a beer. But hey, if you can do it, do it. Five cap rating for that one. Let's see. Chad Lamassa again checking into an other half brewing beer called
Ooh.
Dream Club. This is nice. Creamy from the oats and citrusy. 4.25 caps for that one. And then scrolling on up the list, Jeff Weesey drinking a classic lager by Cross Strain Brewing. Clean, bright, and easy drinking. Smooth malty sweetness with a nice German hops finish. Cheers. Five cap rating for that from Jeff Weesey. And then Eric Gronley getting it in at the last minute. The Black IPA by Montgomery
Ooh.
Brewing at the Gronley headquarters. I had to grab this beer when I saw it. Black IPAs. If you know, you know. Roast malt, piney hops, 100% delicious. And of course, we get the shameless plug of the beer can right next to our sticker on his fridge. And 4.5
Nice.
cap rating for Mr. Eric Gronley. And Denny, that's what everybody's drinking.
Wow, that's a lot of good beer right there. Good job, everyone. Glad you guys are enjoying your. And that was only 5 hours ago.
Yeah, Eric's
That's
was
a lot of.
25 minutes ago.
And
So,
Eric's was 25 minutes ago. Thanks, Eric. I know he joined us for a little bit. If he's still able to listen, it's good to have you able to join us live for a few. I really appreciate that. New and noteworthy, Kris. I've drank a lot of beer, but nothing that I really wanted to, recognize as new and noteworthy. How about you? You
mm.
had anything?
Specifically, you and I talked about this on the beginning of the show,
Yeah,
the Andechs Dunkel.
that's a good one. Yeah, I
Um,
I enjoyed that one too.
This and it's funny enough, I this is a beer that I would never, I can't say never because I have a dozen of them now. Um, but I usually wouldn't go into a store and go, you know what? I'm gonna pick this one up. Just because I don't know, maybe the label's not shiny and
Hmm.
has fun
Hmm.
art on it that makes me want to buy it. But man, I'm really glad that I did. Uh, just because it is a simple but very well done beer that I'm happy I have a lot more of them to drink. And I don't know. What else can I say about a beer that, the brewery's been around since 1455? I think they've dialed it in.
Exactly. Yeah, they
They've
dialed it in. Yeah.
they've got it dialed in. But what about you? Anything standing out that you want to
No, no. I will say that I'm drinking this Pelican Brewing's Beak Breaker Double
breaker?
IPA.
Okay.
Yep, Beak Breaker.
Beep beep beep.
This is going back to the old school double IPA, malty, caramel malt thickness, big piney bitterness, uh, double IPA, old school. Is it my favorite? No, but this is care of Dean Munkers. Thank you, Dean. This
Mm.
is something he provided me when he came into town a few weeks back, and I decided to drink it on the show tonight. A little double IPA action. But Kris, it's going to be a short show. Why don't we go ahead and end it? But before we end it, let's go ahead and raise a glass. Anyone like to raise a glass to tonight?
So I want to raise a glass to our friends Tina and Mo over at Marker
Of
48.
course.
Cheers, guys. Not only, funny enough, I was wearing my Marker 48 sun shirt while we were at the beach today, but Tina and Mo are at one of their homes and doing some home improvements. They're doing
Oh,
some landscaping, they're doing some renovations. And man, they're putting in the sweat equity. So I want to raise a glass to them. I hope they got some good beers. I think right now they're actually in Wisconsin, if I saw that the
wow. They
last
have a home in
video.
Wisconsin.
I
And
I, I don't know. I can't keep them all straight.
wow.
Um,
Marker 49 is doing well with all these.
yeah, yeah. I said, you know what? We're gonna move it. We're gonna move 1 mile marker or 1 channel marker up. But
uh,
cheers, guys. I've been watching the fun videos and stuff y'all been making. Tina, don't beat Mo too bad. You gotta keep him around, right? But cheers to you guys. It's been good to see your faces, even if it's on the TikToks and the Facebooks. So, but cheers. And Denny, who would you like to raise a glass to?
yeah, I'll raise our Patreon toast tonight. Goes out to Mr. Chad Lamassa. We mentioned him a few
Bad.
times already tonight. Cheers to you, Chad. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter. And then the other toast I'll give out to is Dave Zalatoris. I've talked about Dave a while back.
Yep.
He has a podcast called Beer Up Front, and he focuses a lot on the Illinois and Chicago beer scene. And he's all about focus on the beer that's in front of you right now and not what you're looking for in the future, and enjoy what you've got in your hand. I appreciate that. But
Yeah.
his I've been listening to his show for many years, and his show has made it through COVID, and actually I think it started during COVID. To be honest with you, now I can't remember. Maybe just before COVID, but and he's had some really good interviews, and I want to toast him tonight because his latest episode, he's interviewing the cellar master, barrel master, I guess, of Revolution Brewing out of Chicago. And what a great interview, and really goes into details on, on how to brew or how to utilize barrels in a way that enhances the drinkability of a beer. Like we said, you want to enjoy that beer is in front of you right now. And the guy said, hey, don't save our beers. When we release a beer, drink it right then. It will be the best that you're going to get it. If you age it, we can't guarantee that it's going to be as good as it was when we released it that day. And don't count on cans being able to make anything, enhanced. Just drink it. It won't be better a year from now. But a lot of good insight on there. So go check out Beer Up Front podcast. Dave has a lot of different interviewers on, and they're short. A lot of them are like 30-minute to an hour episodes, not too long. And there's some good stuff in there. So go check out Dave's podcast. I think I've mentioned him before. If he's listening, cool. If not, then cheers anyway to good work out there.
Yeah.
And of course, Being a former serviceman, I always want to raise my glass. I want to thank all those who have served and are currently serving in the U.S. military services, protecting our freedoms. Thank you for your service, and I hope all who are deployed are able to return home safely to their families very soon.
Cheers.
Cheers. And you can find the beers and the links to the, well, you can find the beers mentioned on the show in the show notes at taptocraft.com. We do have show notes that are on the website for every episode, so go check it out. And Kris, you want to give our last call?
Yeah, it is last call. It is time to bring the show to a close. Foam fresh, friends faithful, and fridge is fully stocked. We want to thank you for downloading and listening to the show. We ask that you tell a friend and please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And as a reminder, we release a new show every 2 weeks. Now go out there and spread the good word of craft beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.